most anticipated match of the ICC ODI World Cup is here. Hosts India take on arch rivals Pakistan at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. The men in blue have never lost to Pakistan at the ODI World Cups. So can Pakistan break the duck, or will Team India make it 8-0? That's what we are going to discuss in this edition of WION World of Cricket. I am Nikhil Mathur and I'm joined by former Pakistan coach and 1996 World Cup winner Dav Whatmore, and sports editor Digvijay Singh will join us live from the stadium in Ahmedabad. Dav, you were Pakistan's coach when they last travelled to India 7 years ago. In 2012 and 2013. What's the atmosphere in the dressing room before an India versus Pakistan match?
Well, there's a lot of expectations, there's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. Each individual understands all that, and then it just comes back to the ability for those individuals to go out there and, you know, with all that noise going on physically and also all the pressures that is attached to it, to just be able to cope with it and get out there and perform. And we did it pretty well with ODIs, 2-1. The team was successful, so it was really good to be part of that. But it's not easy, though.
Yeah. And both teams are perfect in the tournament. You know, both have had comprehensive wins, more or less comprehensive wins, you know. I mean, the most informed teams taking not just the rivalry, but the two most informed team in this World Cup are going to be pitted against one another.
Yeah, and I think you can throw New Zealand in that as well. So two of the top three are playing each other. These two are playing each other. And both of them, yes, they've won both their games. And in similar fashion, you know, they were under pressure to a point in a couple of those in one of those games. And same with India, same with Pakistan. So, you know, they're very similarly coming together with those two previous games.
The stakes are always high, but would the crowd, you know, over 1 lakh crowd, would that play in Pakistan mind? Because the crowd is going to be biased towards the home team, that are India.
Yeah, it can look. It can be. Big crowds can bring out the best in you, and sometimes it can bring out the worst in you too. So there is certainly a little bit more of that pressure going around, simply because of the level of noise that the fans bring with them. So, you know, again, little mistakes will be exposed out there. It's not going to be easy, so you need to be on top of your game, particularly fielding, I think. You know, if you make an error in the field, it's going to cost. Yeah.
So we are still, what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes away from the toss. Do you want to look? We will see the 11 that you picked for India and Pakistan.
All right.
If we get that on the screen,
With the Indian team, when that comes on, I think I'll put in Shubman Gill, but I believe that he may not be strong enough. He did have a couple of net sessions over the last 2 days, but it appears as though he may not be physically fit enough to play in this game. So if he doesn't play, and we'll know soon, as you said, 20 minutes time, then Ishan Kishan will certainly come in. But the only other bone of contention that I have to raise with you, Nikhil, is the R. Ashwin as opposed to Shardul Thakur. So Ashwin played the first game, Shardul played the second, and I'm tipping Ravichandran Ashwin to play in this fixture. But if he doesn't, then obviously the all-rounder will come in. But
why are you picking Ravichandran Ashwin? Based on the ground, the conditions, or the experience that he brings? Because we all remember the last time India-Pakistan played in a T20 match, Ravichandran Ashwin, ice-cold nerves, and he scored that boundary to take India home.
Yeah, I think he likes playing against that opposition as well. He's a fierce competitor, absolutely fierce competitor. No slouch with the bat. Can bowl in the first 10 overs. Very useful during that middle period. Fielding is perhaps his only little area that he can improve on, but then, you know, he's been around a long time, and the value he brings to his team would counterbalance any of that stuff he has in the field. So, you know, I'm tipping he'll play. simply because his strength, he got a real strong character and able to withstand any sort of pressures and do well.
Rohit Sharma, the man, the only man to score 7 centuries in ODI World Cups. He looks prime for this match. He scored a brilliant century against Afghanistan in Delhi. And if Shaheen doesn't get him early, I think he's going to be a game changer.
That's right. He struggled that first game and then really made up for it in the second game. So he's in a bit of form. You know, he's seeing the ball and he's getting used to now hitting the middle of the bat. So, you know, it's very good news for Team India and for him and for all the fans that are coming to watch as well. So, you know, we expect if he gets a start, then he also can bat long and make it look easy. He's very easy on the eye. So he's just a wonderful player.
You know, and if Rohit doesn't get it, you have Virat Kohli who is in form, you have KL Rahul who is in form.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very strong batting lineup.
It's a settled one, except for that opener. Yeah, Virat Kohli, obviously, you know, what else can you say about just a magnificent player? And he rises to the occasion as well. Number 4 and 5 are pretty set, really, with Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul. The one that's sitting, waiting, warming that bench, waiting to get a chance is Surya Kumar Yadav. I'm afraid he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. So, you know, with Hardik Pandya coming in at 6 and then Ravindra Jadeja at 7, perhaps Ashwin if he plays at 8, it's a fairly decent, you know, batting order that has the depth.
And even the bowling order, you know, I remember yours and Digvijay's discussion, Jasprit Bumrah on that flat Delhi track. He picked up 4 wickets and gave away 39 runs. He can also be a great player for India who can single-handedly win the match.
He can. I'm not sure single-handedly, but he'll, you know, he's bowling really well. And at the moment, what has he got? 8 wickets. He's, I think he maybe even be leading the wicket takers along with Matt Henry from New Zealand. And it's been quite a while since he's played competitive cricket at this level, and he's done such a wonderful job after, you know, rehabilitating with that stress fracture in his back. To come and bowl like that is just wonderful. Yeah, so you know, he's hoping to continue his good form, at least if he doesn't pick up wickets, to be you know, to be frugal when he bowls, to be, you know, not to give away too many runs, which I'm sure he'll achieve that today.
You know, it's not just India. Pakistan too are in form. Mohammad Rizwan scored a century in that world record ODI World Cup chase. So, I mean, they are, and Abdullah Shafiq given an opportunity and he scored a century. Let's look at the Pakistan playing 11. Strong batting lineup.
Actually, I've got no change from what I think they will do. I didn't have a change. The only area that they may even consider is the leg spinner.
The vice captain.
Shadab Khan, and they might go for that Mohammad Wasim, the all-rounder, but I doubt it very much. Yeah, so we have Abdul Shafiq who picked a really nice 100 and made the most of his inclusion. Imam ul-Haq, he needs to pull his socks up a little bit, I think, you know, particularly when he missed that catch early on in the previous match. In that Sri Lankan game. So he's an okay batsman, but he needs to also, you know, get a start and get some runs. The problem they were having is they're losing wickets in that first few overs. Babar Azam has been exposed to that new ball, and we all know how good a player he is, but he's got to perform. He's got to show it in this series. And I know he'd like to do it today.
Yeah, big match. I know, big match player. I think Babar Azam, he's due for a big innings. He hasn't scored much.
And it'll be good for the game, you know. Look, I'm tipping India to win, but I think, you know, when players like that who've got reputations, they have a contribution in the game, it's really good for the game. And Mohammad Rizwan, who I feel could be the highest run getter after today, he's in at number 4 and doing just a wonderful job. Then follows the young guy from Karachi, Saud Shakil, who's also been impressive. But he's also a youngster, so he'll be tested today with the occasion. He's got to, you know, understand that it's still a game of cricket, get rid of all those distractions and see what he can do. Then Iftikhar, experienced guy coming at number 6, who helps a little bit with the spin. Shadab 7, Nawaz 8, and then 9-10 Jack.
You know, most of these players have never played in India. You know, that psychological pressure can be intimidating at some times. If you were in that dressing room, what would be your advice to this mercurial Pakistan side who sometimes get carried away with their emotions, which can work in both ways. You can just have a belter of a game, or you can just succumb to the pressure. What would be your advice?
We've seen, big name players succumb to the pressure and just, lose their head. Javed Miandad, for example, ridiculous, his actions on the field. Amir Sohail, in Bangalore, horrible. So my words are simple, go out there, enjoy the game, do your best, and just ask one question to yourself: is there anything that you wouldn't do to ensure your team wins? If your answer is no, tick the box. There's nothing you wouldn't do that will, that will help the team win. So it's a simple thing. There's enough pressure out there. You don't need to add to it. We need to take pressure off.
Okay. Some words of wisdom from Whatmore, and that brings me to a segment No More with Whatmore.
K-N-O-W.
Yeah, not N-O, K-N-O-W. So a few comments coming in. Krishna asks, can Pakistan break the 7-0 streak at Narendra Modi Stadium and spark the World Cup?
It's possible, of course it is. It's a two-horse race, and I'm sure they'll be trying really hard to do that. But, the odds are, not quite in their favour, but they'll have to work hard to get momentum going, and when they do, how long can they keep that momentum?
And I was listening to the press conference by both Rohit Sharma and Babar Azam. They look very calm and composed, The first question that was put up to Babar was the 7-0 losing streak, and he said every streak comes to an end. The same streak was there in T20 World Cup, but then Pakistan won quite a few. So is he saying that just to calm the nerves, or is there an added pressure because it's India, in India, and in one of the biggest stadiums in the world?
It was quite impressive, really, both of them.
Yeah.
They, as you said, try to remain calm and come out with facts rather than any emotion. I just think that those were carefully chosen words, and perhaps in Babar's case, words that may have been helped, like coached a little bit, to ensure that, you're giving a good impression, you're representing the team and your country, and you come out with the right words. So it was really good of him, and, I think that'll just calm things a little bit with everyone, and we're hoping for a good game.
Yeah. We are 4 minutes away from the toss, and we are still waiting a connection with Digvijay Singh there, who is on the ground, and he's going to get us the pitch report as well as some insights about how the pitch is going to play. Till then, let's take some more comments. Vikram asks, Rohit Sharma's team may have an edge in familiarity with the chaos outside the ground. Will emotions govern or succumb on the field for India and Pakistan?
Once again, the crowd support is there for just that, just support. So they will not be looking that upon that crowd as pressure. They're there to help you. So as long as that's foremost in your mind, then I think the crowd noise will be really good for you. So let's not try take the pressure. Understand that they're barracking for you. Gomesh says, Shubman Gill taking slip catches in practice, is that a sign that he's playing? Well, Gomesh, wait for 3 more minutes. We'll have the toss and we'll get you the playing 11. But he's India's leading run scorer. But do you want to rush him back? Maybe because he's just battling dengue. He's recovering well, but... Taking catches in the slips is very good practice. He should do that regularly, Just a few minutes every day will be very good for him if he's a slipspin. It looks like he is. So that doesn't tax him physically as it would batting for an hour in the nets in that heat. So he's had a couple of net sessions, but it does take a little bit of time to recover and build up your energy. So, I'm expecting him to have another day off and continue to build up physically to play in the next match.
And we have Digvijay joining us live from the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Digvijay, how's the atmosphere say? A full packed stadium? Are we going to see that? Okay, there seems to be some issue with his connection. We'll try and get that back. Let's take a few more comments. Ali Ansari has an interesting stat. He says, can Pakistan break the record? Since a long time, they haven't hit a 6 in the first 6-over power play.
Right, they haven't had a 6 in the first 10 overs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the dimensions, but I know it's a big ground, and trying to clear the boundary may be a little bit risky. But if the ball is there to hit, I think you've got to hit it and go, full 100% execution and ensure that it does go. So, yeah, if the ball is there to hit, bang, go for it, because there are less protection in the outfield, more vacant areas.
And Dav, this is what we were discussing. Sanjay says, for others, the World Cup began a few days ago. But for Indians, today is more important than the World Cup final.
Well, that's right. You know what I was asking, right? I really would love to know from the fans. Would you prefer to beat India today and lose the World Cup? Or do you prefer to lose to Pakistan today and win the World Cup? That's an interesting question.
I mean, yeah, of course, winning the World Cup is important, but we have the emotions run high during an India versus Pakistan match.
I think the clear answer, Nikhil, would be to beat Pakistan and win the World Cup.
That would be an ideal situation for an Indian cricket fan.
That's right.
Sanjay says Pakistan is the only team with no IPL benefit. Is that a major factor?
Well, it can be, but they play their cricket not far away from the geography here. Geographically, they're not far away at all. It's just a short flight, to be honest. So, I guess if going by the letter of the law, they don't play bilaterals for quite a while now. So they're restricted to World Cups.
Yeah.
And maybe that could be a difference.
And I'm being told that we are joined by Digvijay Singh there. The line is fixed. Digvijay, what can you get us from the ground? The toss is about to happen.
Yeah, I know. I've been actually listening to you patiently for the last half an hour. It's not very cold out here. It is very hot, and thank God I'm wearing this jacket, or else my shirt would be completely drenched. But where I'm standing is just outside gate number 3 of the stadium, which is where the VIP entrance is. And while I was walking here, the police stopped us about 2 kilometers away. So we had to walk that entire stretch. It was only a sea of blue, Nikhil. I didn't see anything else. It was a sea of blue. There was various colors of India jerseys. There was lots of Virats written at the back. There was the old India jerseys. Some were engineers. Some even came wearing the India flag as their jersey. So it's one big party inside that stadium.
Well, Diggy, I was there not all that long ago, mate, and I was walking around that ground about 6 in the morning for my fitness. But I would imagine that wouldn't be much elbow room there at all, and I would love personally to witness it, and you're lucky you're there. I would think that the crowd I'm hoping the crowd would lift the Indian players, not put pressure on them. And I think if they're able to understand that each fan out there is cheering for you, not to put pressure on you, that makes a big difference. And the Pakistanis, sadly, they're not going to have too much support there.
You know, I think that's an understatement, Dav. There's not any support for them. There's going to be no support for them. In fact, this is what was put to both captains yesterday before the match in the conference, and I was listening to both of them sitting right there. In fact, Rohit Sharma saying, this Indian team has played in big grounds. Many members of this Indian team have played here in the IPL. Okay, they know what that crowd is, and they feed off it. I don't need to tell my boys how to handle the occasion. They know. In fact, it's for Pakistan to sort of get used to it because A, they've never played in this stadium. This is a completely new stadium to the one they played in which was earlier called Motera, the Sardar Patel Stadium. And this kind of crowd, you're never going to have this kind of crowd anywhere in world cricket. In fact, you could add up Lord's, Oval and a couple of other grounds, Old Trafford, and you still won't get this kind of support. So for Pakistan, the atmosphere is going to rattle them. In fact, Babar Azam telling us, Dav, that we, the seniors, tell the players how to respond and how to sort of gear up for this match. While the word from the Indian camp was very simple. We don't need to tell anyone what to do. We're not telling anyone to go off social media, to go off their phones, not to read newspapers. They know how to handle the occasion. And I believe over the last 10 years, India-Pakistan matches, the Indian team has learnt to handle the occasion very well.
Agree with that. Totally agree with that. And I think it may be also a very good idea to let those younger guys know in Pakistan, the Pakistani players, a little bit of help on how to handle those pressure situations.
All right, Rohit Sharma has the toss and Babar Azam calls heads, and it's a tail, and India have won the toss and they have elected to bowl first. Dav,
Yeah.
good call?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think one is if there's anything in the pitch, it's a black soil pitch. If there's anything in it, it may be in the first half an hour or so. And also, we've seen a small trend that batting under lights becomes just that little bit easier, particularly if you're able to negotiate the first 4 or 5 overs with the new ball. So I think that's a good move. You're going to have a ball that's dry. If there is dew, we've heard both captains say the dew is definitely a possibility tonight. So to ensure that you haven't got a wettish ball, then bowling first I think is a good option.
Also, Dav, interesting to note here is that the heat will play a part here. Going by that, do you think it's still a good call to bowl first? Because it is, I think, 40 degrees plus right now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure about the temperatures there in Ahmedabad. But it is a hot day, hot sunny day. We do not know of the playing 11 yet, but if the likes of Shubman Gill were to play, given his health, do you think it's a good call?
No, he won't play. I'm pretty sure he won't play. I did pick him in the hope, but I've been reliably told by our Digvijay Singh Dio that he's just not quite 100%.
He's back, guys. Gill is playing.
Oh, is he playing, Digvijay?
Well, that's a turnaround. That's good. Diggy, I'm very...
Yeah, I've just heard he's playing. I'm very surprised. I'm as surprised as Dav.
Yeah, I tell you, that's a good thing. I'm happy for the guy. It looks like they're really keen to draft him into that team to ensure that he gets a good run at during the World Cup, and that's a positive sign. And he'll be batting under lights, which may be a little bit cooler for him.
Yeah. Digvijay, give us a sense of the weather there. Is it a really hot day?
And Pakistan are unchanged. Isha, one sec. Pakistan are unchanged.
I got that right.
Yeah.
Pakistan are unchanged. I'll just try and run through what I have.
Yeah.
Pakistan unchanged. It is a very hot day, Isha. As you can see, I'm not exactly standing in a sauna, but it's pretty much resembling that at the moment. It is very, very hot. And I think the thing with Gill was, I spent an hour and a half watching the Indian net session yesterday, and guess who had the biggest knockout there? Shubman Gill. He was the net bowlers were bowling to him. Ravichandran Ashwin bowled to him. Even Mohammad Shami bowled to him, and Virat Kohli. He was batting very well. And I'm telling you, Vikram Rathore, the Indian batting coach, and Rahul Dravid, they were standing and observing. I honestly didn't feel they would rush him in. But clearly they've got the medical science, and the science department said he's good enough. Let's go in with him. It's a good thing. He's a match winner. We all know that. The way he tackled Shaheen Shah Afridi in that second game at the Asia Cup in the Super 4 stage was magnificent. But I'm still not convinced.
Well, Diggy, that's very good information, mate. Thank you for that. The other bone of contention there, the good discussion point, and I got this one wrong as well. I think we got this one wrong, was Ravichandran Ashwin not playing, and Shardul Thakur got the nod. So they've clearly gone for 4 seamers and 2 spinners instead of 3 seamers and 3 spinners.
So we have Ashwin in the lineup.
No.
In fact, Isha, if I could come in, Isha, if I could just come in here.
Yeah.
I was just because when you observe the nets, you see a lot of things. And Ravichandran Ashwin bowled a lot in the nets. I was referring this to Dav when I was driving into the stadium. Shardul didn't bowl. It was Mohammad Shami having a long, hard go at Virat Kohli. And a couple of times Virat Kohli actually edged or had a couple of false shots. Shardul Thakur batted, Ravichandran Ashwin batted, and Ashwin was trying to, it looked like it was an audition, who bats better. Both were shaky, but Ashwin was trying to reverse sweep the net bowlers, and he was getting bowled a lot. That's what I mentioned to Dav.
All right. Actually, just a quick comment on that, Diggy. As you know, when I spoke to you earlier, we agreed that the fast bowlers who are playing in the game don't do much at all the day before. Spinners they can generally, have a little bit of a spell in the nets. So that's why still leaning towards Ravichandran Ashwin and not Shardul Thakur. But, they've obviously gone for the fourth medium pacer based on the conditions. And, that also is a good move.
Also, Gill seems to love this ground. He seems to have done really well on this ground. Do you think his good performance in the nets yesterday was a function of him being used to those conditions, used to the pitch there, or, he's just as good a batsman that he is,
well,
and
Esha,
dengue or not, he's still going to go ahead and hit those knocks.
Yeah, he's averaging at the moment 60 plus in ODIs, which is incredible, really. So he's only had a week off, but the big question was, can his health get through a hot day? You don't lose your batting prowess in a week, even 2 weeks. You don't pick up a bat, doesn't matter. You can still jump in and do well, as we've seen a few other players. Kane Williamson, 100 yesterday. So I think his batsmanship is not in question. It was just the fact that his health.
The energy levels?
Yeah, the energy levels,
that's
right.
Like that,
yeah, maybe there's extra drinks coming out to him and maybe something else, stronger stuff in the, the replacement drinks for him. But certainly, he'd be really happy to get a game now and get on with his career.
So India pulling all stops to make sure that they clinch this one. Should Gill not have played? Should he have been rested for a little longer? Do you think India still stood a good enough chance?
If he didn't play?
Yeah,
surely. But the thing is, you don't just include a guy who's been ill without getting the right medical advice. So I'm sure they would have, made sure of that. Yeah, they would have given the green light. If you want to pick him, he's ready to go. If he doesn't play, it's not because of the health thing. It'll be maybe because of the skill thing or lack of practice. But he don't lose it in a week. So there you are. He's got his chance. He's going to start his World Cup today in front of 130,000 people. What a way to start. And good luck to him.
Dav, we were trying to observe a trend the other day when you were talking about, the teams bowling first have managed to win the matches. Do you think there is a trend that has already been established here, given perhaps the conditions in the subcontinent right now? Or
yeah, I think it's a reasonably accepted line of thinking in this tournament at the moment that batting second just a little bit easier for you. I'm not saying it's not, because you look at India, 3 wickets down, 2 runs in the first 3 or 4 overs. So it can be a little bit tricky early.
Yeah.
But if you master that, if you get over that initial burst of speed with some good bowlers, with a new ball, and you're able to, get through that, then it becomes a little bit easier. That's the general feeling.
Yeah. Digvijay, we don't know at least I don't know if you were able to establish a connection with you earlier on, but do give us a sense of what you experience around you right now at the stadium. Is it a full house? What's the excitement like? Do you see some Pakistan fans at least? Or is it a sea of blue as you witness it, as it unfolds?
I'm actually still far away from the stadium. I'm at the gate. I can't enter. I still have about a 15-minute walk to get there. But the police, Esha, I was telling Nikhil, who was on before you, the police stopped us at least 2 kilometers away. So I had to walk that 2-kilometer stretch. There's a metro station right outside the stadium. And all I saw was blue. I saw various shades of blue. I saw the Indian tricolour converted into shirts. There were some brave people who weren't wearing India jerseys, but I didn't see anything else.
Okay.
Hey, talking about Shubman Gill, I wanted to make a point. When he came a day before the Indian team, right? And he had an extended net session. But the place where the media positions were for filming the net session was in fact over the nets. Okay, so we were looking down at the nets, and I didn't see him not middle a ball. I think that's the reason. The medical science clearing him, but there wasn't a loose shot. All of the shots he was hitting, even the ones he was stepping forward and taking on either the net bowlers or the fast bowlers, he was middling it very, very well. The other thing I wanted to make a point, because I heard Rohit talk yesterday, and he was asked about the dew factor. He said the dew does come in. He said, but remember that the damage is done, as Dav was mentioning, in the first 10 overs. If you're a fast bowler, if you're Australia, The dew came in Chennai after 30 overs. So you still have to negotiate that phase. It's not like it becomes easy to bat from, say, 6 o'clock when the match starts in the second innings. It's that first 1.5 hours where the ball is new, and it's 2 new balls, remember. It is going to be tough, so please get it out of your heads that the dew is such a big factor. He said the game is already won by the time the dew comes in, or lost.
Well, if you haven't lost wickets and you get to the 30th over and you're in the game, then the dew comes, then the advantage goes to the batting team. And the other thing, Diggy, I want to mention, Shubman Gill batting in the nets and hitting it beautifully in the middling. I know certain players, and I'll put myself in that category, if my last net session is a really good one, I'm scared. Because I've used up all my good shots in the nets. I got nothing left for the game.
That's a good one. That's a good point.
That's certain
Yeah,
players.
but Dav, I think they're trusting the fact that the boy has, the man has what? 1,200 runs already in international cricket this year, leading run scorer. I think they're backing that.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, I'm just letting you know, certain players, have that sort of mental block about that, But when I batted, and I didn't bat so well, I was happy because I know I've saved some good ones for the game,
Okay.
Can I tell you who was shaky? Can I tell you who was shaky? Take one guess.
Which team? Which team? Give us a hint. Give us a clue. India. Okay.
Rohit Sharma, was he shaky? Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli probably.
That's almost
Rohit didn't
audacious,
bat.
Dav.
Rohit didn't bat, but guess who was shaky?
Virat Kohli, yeah.
Virat Kohli was.
Oh my God.
Shami got him a couple of times, nicking behind to the stumps. There were a couple of loose shots where he turned the bat face and it was a leading edge. Yes, 90% of it he was middling it very well, but there was a phase where you're wondering, hey, hang on. So maybe Dav Whatmore, you're right both ways. We could see
Digvijay,
Shubman still
good
come
you
out
didn't
and
say
have
it
a
before
great
the
net and
Delhi
do well.
game.
And Virat Kohli just batting like a dream, so he doesn't need the nets in any case.
Put him down for 100.
Oh, wait. Okay, so who do you see getting those hundreds today, Dav?
Well, anyone in the top.
Anyone?
Yeah, anyone in the top.
Apparently not Virat, according to Digvijay.
No. Anyone in the top 4 or 5. You need time. You need time to construct that innings, and obviously the ones with the time is a top order. So I'm expecting anyone that gets a start. Gee, I'm sure they would love to take it deep, get themselves a big 100, and ensure that they can chase the total, because they are bowling first, and they'll be looking to win the game and chase the total. So whoever gets a start, it's just normal batting. Get a start, get set, and then you can do all. You can accelerate your run rate later. Yeah.
No more with Whatmore. We've been getting comments, questions. It's social media is a buzz today, Dav. We have India, Pakistan.
Good.
Interesting one coming in from Nadeem, who says, we have almost won the game at the toss. Pakistan won't be able to absorb the pressure and the extravaganza built around the game. On this track, you will need at least 330 to stand a chance. I don't see Pakistan crossing 280.
Yeah, look,
Do you actually not see them do that?
What I would think a pass score today would be, close to, if not over 300. So, I'm thinking you'll need that total to bowl at. Can they do it? You've got some good bowlers in the Indian team that's going to try really hard to restrict them to under that 300 mark. And I don't know. Whatever the total is, they have to bowl India out to win it.
Digvijay, you were part of the training sessions of Team Pakistan as well. You witnessed this a little bit. Can you give us a little bit of an update from that camp? Who do you think outshone in the nets yesterday? One of our viewers seems to think that Pakistan will not be able to get more than 280.
Esha, it was an optional session.
But the day before they had a full session.
It was an optional session, so they had a full net session the previous night.
So you missed that one, okay.
And yesterday it was blazing hot. It was Babar Azam was there. But it was an optional session. They didn't go full throttle. They wanted to perhaps conserve the energy. But if there's one person who needs a big score today, it's Babar Azam.
Yeah.
It's Babar Azam.
Yeah, I agree.
Babar Azam hasn't got the greatest of records against India in one-day cricket, and I just think that the The occasion is a good one. You look back at the great India-Pakistan matches, the best batters have always done well. I remember the last time I covered an India-Pakistan game here in the old stadium was when Inzamam got a 50-odd and took Pakistan over the line. You have seen in the past, Saeed Anwar, who Dav picked in his India-Pakistan 11, getting big runs. Shoaib Malik, there was a phase when he was scoring a lot of runs against India. Rizwan is a great batter and he is their mainstay, but I think Babar Azam is due. And if Babar Azam really needs to hang on to his captaincy at the end of this World Cup, he needs to really seize this World Cup because his form's not been good.
I can't
Is it
agree
his day
more.
today, Dav? Do you think, is he able to shake off those demons you were talking about the other day, the mental pressure or whatever it is that's getting to him? Do you think today looks like his day?
Well, every time he walks out to bat, it's potentially his day. He's a good player. So let's be honest, potentially it's his day. But it hasn't happened so far. And this is the third such occasion he'll be asked to try and make it his day.
Yeah.
So, it may not happen, it may happen. But I would agree with Diggy that, if he wants to retain his captaincy, particularly in Pakistan, there needs to be a healthy contribution sooner or later, and that should be sooner. And what a place to do it, against their old rivals and, at a World Cup venue like Ahmedabad. So look, let's hope it's a good game. Let's hope, everyone does well and the best team will win.
Dav, you have coached the team. We've asked you this question in different forms multiple times. But given the magnitude of this fixture today at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad, if you were the coach of the current Pakistan team, what would you be telling them right now? We know that, as you've stated before, that the prep goes on for many, many months before that. But what would you be telling them right now?
Well, as a coach, I know that there are certain days of preparation, you're really happy with, and other days, I walk away thinking, gee, we're not really, it wasn't that great. So I'd need to be, as a coach, all the work is yesterday, not today. So I need to be fully satisfied that the information and the communication that goes on is as good as it can possibly be. And then I'm totally happy. So that's where I would come from. Today is all about relaxing and taking pressure off.
What about things like possibly the opposition team booed today in the stadiums as they walked on, as we're hearing? So many supporters for Team India. How do you handle that sort of a thing? Well,
that's up to the individual, and you would hope that they understand that, what counts is not all that. What counts is if you're a batsman and you're facing up to the bowler, seeing that ball coming, making a right decision and executing. That's what counts. Everything else is there to distract you. So yes, it's all part of the hype. It's all part of the excitement, and it's necessary. But the real battle begins when you're asked to do a job, whether you've got the ball in your hand or the bat in your hand, or if the ball comes to you as a fielder. You have to ensure that you try and execute that skill, whatever it is, correctly.
Given the lineup in Pakistan, what is your guess for the total they're going to be posting in that innings?
Yeah, first innings total, I was saying something like 300. I think you need to get 300 on this. Sight unseen still, You have to give me some grace. But I think our team played there not all that long ago, earlier this year, on both red and black. The black was much easier to bat on. So the black clay is what they're playing on today. I'm expecting chock full of runs. And, the team the bowling team that can restrict the opposition, because both teams have got good players, good batsmen. The team who is stronger with the bowling attack,
Shadab Khan instrumental going into this very important fixture?
Well, he's a leg spinner that's been out of form a bit. He's shown little signs of returning to that form. Some good flight and bounce and spin. You're not going to get too much bounce on this pitch. Turn, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But certainly, his accuracy was a slight improvement. But I tell you, if you're not you know, if you're bowling wide of the stumps, then it opens up
Yeah.
hitting areas. So he's got to be, you know, very accurate, just there and thereabouts and middle and off. And hopefully, you know, repeat that many times to frustrate the batsman.
Who, in your opinion, can be the game changer for Team Pakistan today?
Well, like
in the bowling department.
in the bowling department, well, you'd
Sure,
like.
we know they have to post the runs, and then you have to make sure that you know, you put a high enough total that that's not chased.
Yeah.
But who do you think in the bowling department can cause that damage?
Well,
for
you
India?
need wickets, don't you, to become a you know, a game changer.
Yeah.
And everyone was looking, including me, Afridi to you know, open up an end, get some wickets. That hasn't happened. I think being a lefty bowling to right-handers sometimes can be a little tricky because you keep searching for that swing, and sometimes it's not there. But
Yeah.
even when it is there, you've got to ensure that it starts on the right line. So his degree of difficulty, it's looking like in these conditions a little harder than maybe a right armour like Haris Rauf and Jasprit Bumrah, who's done really well.
Yeah.
So he's got to just, I think, pull it back a little bit, still go for wickets, but try really hard, get his through rhythm to bowl in the in a correct area more often. Don't worry about the wickets; that'll take care of itself. But he's got to be a little bit more accurate repeatedly.
In the Indian lineup, in the bowling charge, who do you think will make sure that Pakistan's total is restricted to as less as possible?
Well, your highest wicket taker is Jasprit Bumrah,
Yeah,
so I think they'll be, you know, that ball will go to him. Certainly in that first over, he'll probably bowl 3 or 4. And Mohammad Siraj has also been in a little bit of form of late. He'll be also looking to support, you know, the other bowlers. So they got 4 of them, haven't they? Siraj, Bumrah, Shardul Thakur, and Hardik Pandya, who is no slouch either. Hardik Pandya will be looking to make inroads and, you know, just keep chipping away on the wickets column, pick up 1, pick up 2, because he's no slouch with the speed either. So they got 4 good options there, and definitely spearheaded by Bumrah.
And what about Kuldeep Yadav? We cannot not have a word on him as well because...
Yeah, look, he's the wrist spinner there, and he'll be definitely giving, you know, his contribution. So I think with him, he's just got to continue doing what he's doing. You know, in 2 games, his accuracy surprised, I think, most people. So if he can continue in that form of just getting that ball up in the air, don't bowl short, you know, above the eye line of the batsman, coming down in a length, and his natural variation with that googly and his stock ball that comes into the right-hander can be a little tricky to face. So just keep doing what he's doing. Yeah.
As I look at this lineup, India does boast of a very impressive bowling charge going into this game. They have lots of variation.
They've got 6 bowlers, haven't they? You know, 2 spin, and we haven't spoken about Ravindra Jadeja as well. You know, who is very, you know, he really does put the brakes on as well. And being a lefty, if there is any sort of straightening on that pitch, he'll find it. You know, and he's in Chennai. There was something on offer there, and he was just almost unplayable on certain balls. So, you know, he'll just continue to chip away. And if he sees anything that's you know, that's supporting, you know, he'll take full advantage.
We still have to wait for the first ball. I am not really sure if they're already at the crease, but who do you think in this lineup, in the bowling lineup, goes in first up in the first few overs?
The power play overs will definitely be Bumrah.
Not Siraj?
And Siraj, either end. You know, they'll both be let loose at the Pakistani openers.
Siraj has a really good record in the first power play.
Yeah, he's able to move the ball too. Let's see if there's any swing though. We don't quite know. You know, sometimes certain grounds, no swing. So if you keep looking for it when there's no swing on offer, and then, you know, you get greedy, so I still want to swing the ball, and it becomes a bad ball, you know. So you're allowing that line to swing away, but it doesn't swing, it just drifts on the legs. And the right-hander just deflects it nice and easy, and it can go for a boundary. So I think, you know, you've got to quickly work out, is it swinging, is it not swinging? What, is it bouncing a little higher or bouncing a little bit lower? Then you adjust. Got to adjust your length and your direction.
Also give Bumrah a little more time just so that, he makes sure that the accuracy is achieved, not like how we saw in the game against Australia when he was pulled out after 3 overs.
Well, even though, he was pulled out after 3 overs, there's a few of us felt
the mission
that
was achieved.
Yeah, but we felt he could have gone a little bit more,
A little more,
a little longer, just because he looked like picking up a wicket.
Picking up a wicket, yes.
So if that's the case, it may happen again. He's looking like getting a wicket. All right, Sharma said that'll do, son, have a rest, But if he's looking like getting a breakthrough, nothing like it. I would say keep going, son. Until you look like you're not. So, but you got to also manage the 10 overs over 50. So you've got to be a little careful of, when and how often a bowler will operate.
Other than Babar Azam's form itself, what do you have to say about his captaincy, especially taking off from the game against Sri Lanka that Pakistan saw?
Yeah, one seems to complement the other two, Esha, I think. If you're making runs, captaincy becomes a little easier. If you're not making runs, they seem to get the spotlight on you in your decision making. So, but they've still won 2 games, and they've won it pretty well. So, that's a good thing for him. And I'm sure he gets some advice from his keeper, Rizwan, who's pretty sharp brain anyway. And together with maybe another senior player, he needs the support of them to get the decisions correct. But it'd be nice if he got some runs, because that would complement his captaincy.
A quick word on Rohit, and then we can just take a few more comments that our viewers have sent for you.
Rohit Sharma, wonderful. Seriously, to bounce into that game against Afghanistan.
Especially his captaincy skills there.
Yeah, no, captaincy's good. No, he's had a lot of experience doing that, so I don't think that's ever in question. But it's easy to say, well, flat track against Afghanistan, yes, but any ball can get you out. And I've seen, some really ordinary bowlers get wickets. So that's fine to say, but it's only Afghanistan. It's not.
Yeah.
Hundreds are 100, and no matter who, at this level, it's just a wonderful, the way in which he went about it. And we were all treated royally to if you watch that innings. It was really good.
Okay, game's about to begin.
First ball.
First ball. Oh, there he is, Bumrah.
Number 93. Yeah. I'm expecting this to be on target. There he goes. He's setting off. First ball of this clash. And there it was. It was bang on target. Batsman had to play forward defensively. Very good.
He's just been playing very beautifully, I'd say. He's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, unusual too, right? His run-up is like a skip, a little thing, and all of a sudden, only 4 or 5, maybe 3 to 5 paces, and he generates that speed, and bounce into that into his delivery. It's just really amazing. It's unusual, which goes to show that people. Another good ball on track. Just goes to show that you don't have to have a classical action to be successful. There are a lot of unusual actions that have got wickets. Lassit Malinga, Mitch Santner, who's leading, one of the leading wicket takers. His front arm gets to here. Murali was incredible, using his whole shoulder, wrist and fingers. So unusual actions doesn't mean you can't be successful, as you're seeing now.
Okay, this one comes in from Vidhan. He says, in the India versus Pakistan World Cup match in Ahmedabad, my prediction is that Pakistan will score between 250 and 300 runs, and India will win the match with 4 wickets in hand by the 45th over. That's pretty accurate. What's your opinion?
Well, then all the fans will have an early
With
night.
4 wickets in hand, I wonder who they are.
Everyone will have an early night, including us, right? So if it happens for the best. But I think, like everyone else, though, we think India will win. It'll be hard for them to, for the Pakistanis to break that record of 7-0. But we just need a good game, don't we?
So what is it about these World Cup games that, that we've seen Pakistan not really secure? Because it's not that they haven't given India a very tough competition in the limited overs format. What is it about these World Cup games? Do you think it's a function of just chance and not really the high pressure in a World Cup fixture?
Well, to me, cricket's played, or any sport in competition at a high level especially, is played in the head.
Yeah.
So from my experience, the Pakistan teams years ago were pretty strong mentally.
Yeah.
And they won more games than they lost against India. But I think the circle's turned a little bit now, and I think the Indian team is a lot more capable of being stronger mentally. And the Pakistanis are, to me, a little, guessing a little bit sometimes and wary of that confidence. Like a few of these little distractions also may come into your mind and take away from your primary job is to make the correct decision. Distractions come and they completely, make it difficult for you. So I think it's mental.
Also, the mercurial tag that they sported for all these years, do you still see them being as mercurial, or you pretty much almost always know the direction they're headed, like is the case with most big teams?
Mercurial potential is there, obviously, because they got some real speed in Harris Rof and Afridi. So it can happen. It can, like in the space of 2 or 3 overs, you could lose 3 or 4 wickets. So they become mercurial sort of bowlers,
Yeah.
From time to time, it could spike up in that way. But, generally speaking, if you're spiking up this way, it also comes down the other way. And sadly for them, that spike hasn't gone up.
Teams wanted to chase in this game. Read somewhere that out of the 7 games we've won against Pakistan, out of 7 games we've won against Pakistan in the World Cups, we batted first in 6 of them. Rohit should have batted first, in my opinion. Purely a stats person.
Yeah, and different conditions would dictate what you do. So in this case, as we mentioned earlier, it looks like it's a little bit easier to bat under lights, provided you get through that initial period. And I also agree with that person who wrote in, that 300 is going to be pretty much the target.
No Ashwin, bad move. This is Jasleen who says that.
Okay, he must be an off-spinner. No, look, Ashwin, either Ashwin or Shardul playing, I think India will do okay. It's just the fact that they felt that, an extra medium pacer on the black soil may be the way to go.
So not all's lost there. Okay, Shrija from Pakistan says, the only way to defeat this Indian side from around the roar of the crowd in Ahmedabad is with your bats. Your batting is your only weapon. Forget your records and stats for just this one match. Play with your heart and soul. Yeah. I'm sure you'll agree to that.
Surely, and not just with the bat, with the ball too.
With the ball, yeah.
Yeah, so, play with your heart. You have to trust your skills. You trust your instinct. Play with the heart. Yeah. Yeah, surely.
Aksahat says, the teams are ready for the toss. The pitch is a belter. Who will score a century today from either teams?
Okay. Well, here's another 4 runs, so that's 16 for no loss. And who hit that? I think it was the lefty, Imam ul Haq. So whoever, it's a left-hander, which is a little bad ball too, by the way, down the leg side. Not good. But whoever gets a start, Esha, has to go through. And these 2 openers right from the top have to take responsibility if they want to post a total of 300. It's not going to get easy, but if they get a start, then it's their responsibility to take it as deep as possible and get the 3 figures.
Okay, Sanjay says, for others, the World Cup began a few days ago, but for Indians, today is more important than the World Cup final. Yeah.
Was that right? Yeah, probably. But I think what all the supporters would want
is a good match.
Is to win today and win the World Cup.
And win the World Cup. Okay, Farooq says, pressure match, difficult to chase, but it's a good batting track. Will be easy to bat under lights with the dew factor. Very, very tricky decision today. As Digvijay pointed out, and I think Rohit was speaking at the press conference that he heard, the dew factor isn't really that important. There are other factors that come into play. Do you think that is something that is going to alter the result of the match?
What he was saying was that, when the dew comes in, it may be as late as 30 over mark.
Yeah.
But up to the 30 over mark, if the team batting second is in a reasonable position, then it becomes even easier. So it will have an effect, but it may not have an effect if you've done really badly in that first 20, 25 overs. So I understand what he's saying, but I'll tell you what, once that dew comes in, you can't hold the ball too well, and it just hits the pitch and just comes nicely.
Yeah.
So it will make a difference, provided you are in a position to take advantage of it.
Right. Very quickly, some polls that we conducted. This is an interesting one. Who will be the game changer in the India-Pakistan match? Virat Kohli, Babar Azam, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Rizwan. A resounding 57.3% for Virat Kohli. Unfortunately, what Digvijay witnessed yesterday, and according to his prediction, that may not be the case. However, Jasprit Bumrah also scores 36%. And Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan, 3.4%.
Oh, that's a little bit tough, isn't it?
That's
I would have thought
tough,
Rizwan, if he has to come in early, he's one that can do a good rescue job and then go ahead and get some runs for himself. But again, he's number 4, so if the top order does well, top 2 or 3, then the available overs to bat reduces.
Right. Okay. I think that brings us to the end of this particular show, because we don't want to go to our desks and watch the match. And we will be back again pretty soon. Dav and I will be here for the mid-innings. So make sure that you keep tuning in to WION World of Cricket.